Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Tuf. Today we'll be talking about a new company called United Therapeutics, UTHR, the ticker. This is a company specialized into lung disease treatment, especially the problem which is called PAH, pulmonary arterial hypertension. And basically this is their main focus, and they try basically to extend their, let's say, addressable market these days, and also in the same time perform some lung transplantation into donors, and also develops potentially some artificial organs. So all of this is very exciting, and at the moment this company is an interesting one with a share price at 210. I just put here $265 as a potential target for early next year, which would represent an average of 25% up. I just recall people that I'm not a financial advisor and that this video is just on educational purpose only. The target is that just you learn about that company and after make your own decision. Okay, let's go directly into the subject and with the pipeline. I like this presentation format because it's really showing like that there's a journey. And Martin Rosbach, the CEO, is quite a very interesting person who has achieved a lot of different things during her past experience. And basically, they split that into three different items: short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals. And all of this makes sense as a journey because today we are just doing like a few transplants in terms of lungs, around 200 done over the last few years, and also just a few, let's say, pills that or treatments that help the people having this PAH, pulmonary arterial hypertension, to be slightly cured. But the goal ultimately is to develop organs on the shelf and be able to treat people before they get sick or in very difficult situations. So this is basically, I go very quickly but briefly add a few more details related to each point. So the first one is just basically the system that is used to transplant, let's say, an organ, a lung from a donor to a patient. So that has been very developed and is still in phase 3. In the midterm, you will have these Teton studies, which is actually the expansion of the addressable market with their major drug, which is the Tyvaso. And also we have another product which is called Ryan and Pag that has been bought 2 years ago from another company, and which is at phase 3, let's say, development right now. So lots of different programs on phase 3, which could add additional revenue to the existing company. Right now, so on top of it, so they have already tested different organ transplant, and basically these organs comes from the pigs and they are transplanted into humans with like a engineering modification so that it can be accepted by the receiver, the patient. In the meantime, also, obviously, if you want to make some transplant, let's say therapy, you need also to basically work on the concept of allogenic cells. So basically, so that any external, let's say, organ can be imported into another patient without being rejected. So a few studies are also covering this subject. So it all makes sense. And the final, let's say, moonshot for this company is basically to develop artificial lungs. So the problem is that the pigs that have been used for example, xeno so heart replacement, or a kidney, xenokidney for kidney replacement, work pretty well with the pigs. However, the lungs is a little bit more complicated. That's the reason why they have to find a new way to basically have a replacement of organs. And here they use basically a 3D printed lung scaffold cellularized with allogenic cells or patient's own cells. Okay, so let's go on the next phase, next step. Here is really a summary of what you can see from the website, but in a different format. And basically you can see that there are phase 3, which is quite impressive considering the evaluation that I will show you later. So Tyvaso, what is this? Basically, this is their highlights, the major product that they are selling at the moment, which actually can spread into different, let's say, multi different products. But basically, that's the main one that they are trying to expand. So you can see you have like different I will actually show it here. They have different type of patients, patients that are like mild and then patients like that are more severe. And each of these category is at the moment covered with a different study. So for example, right now, this is the Teton study, the phase 3, and also the Perfect study, which are for different type of patients. So for example, this one is PH-COPD, which is equal to chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or the other one is IPF, which is idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. I don't want to go into too much into details. I'm not a doctor, but anyway, it's different type of grades of degradation for this from this pulmonary arterial hypertension. At the moment, this Tyvaso is only covering the PH, the first part, and just got approved for the PH ILD with interstitial lung disease. They want just to cover basically these extra 200,000 patients, and it will help us, it will help the company, sorry, to generate extra revenues. So their goal is clear. They mentioned on the last quarter that the goal is there for their Tyvaso patients to increase from 4,400 today up to 6,000 by the end of this year. On top of that, by 2025, they want to actually increase it even more, up to 25,000. So basically, when you want to do a type of valuation, you can try to understand how much they get for each Tyvaso treatment per person and per quarter. And then after, you can do just a linear rule to identify how much, for example, it will generate. Okay. So we can use after that the type of numbers to develop our operating model. Okay. So the camera doesn't work, but it's not a problem. Okay, so this is like the estimated population, which is 280K, and that only has been approved for PH and PH-ILD, as I was mentioning. The rest is still on phase 3, so it might unlock a lot of actually patients pretty soon. Okay, so regarding the transplantation, I just wanted to show you actually a video, like, or at least some snapshot of video of a 3D printed lung scaffold. How does it look like? And basically, these days, every 2 weeks, they are printing a lung and transplanting it into an animal for testing. When they reach 30 days of stable life in an animal, the FDA will be able to approve a human trial, and then after, allow some more studies. In the next 5 years, hopefully, it's going to get approved. And that's basically the different steps. So first you build a scaffold with like a biohydrogel. Then you take blood cells from the patient or something else. You reprogram them to make a lung cell, and after you inject these cells into the lung itself, and it would just be cellularizing around the wall. And then after, you're gonna have a perfect lung. And this is very complicated to make a lung because you have such like refined, these little alveoli that it's not similar as a different, let's say, as a heart, because a heart is basically just a pump, even though it's more complex than just that. Anyway, let's continue. This is the detail for Ryland Pag. So basically, the main competitor, which is called Select Pag, has around $550 million of revenue in US, and basically is showing that this new product, Ryland Pag, basically is a lot more efficient, a lot more steadier than this competitor. So, and for those which is 3 times less. Okay, so there's also a big potential here to unlock. Unfortunately, I didn't put it on my operating model, so actually this stuff is just an additional potential catalyst for the future. Here we come back into the DNA card, and quite very interesting. This company is actually very undervalued, or at least generate a very good yield of around 14%. They have a very good balance sheet. As you can see, they have a lot of short-term investment, a lot of cash, almost no debt. So they are pretty good. They don't dilute anything over the last 4 years, so it's pretty good. Very high gross margin, around 94%, and a pretty okay oscillating net margin, but always in the 30% range, which is amazing, considering that they have 7 phase 3. Okay. Anyway, there's a bit of operating leverage, as you can see here. The gross profit increase, even though the SG&A and R&D is actually pretty stable. So if they generate more revenue, it's all gonna go into the bottom line. So this is extremely good. Just one detail, if you look at the cash flow statement, you'll see that the average is around always like in the middle if you do like the net balance. Why? Because actually they always reinvest the money they have into what they call so sales maturity of marketable investment. So basically they buy some property, plant equipment, but also reinvest into short-term investments. So that's the reason why on the balance sheet you see some increase in numbers. $1.4 billion of pure cash. I mean, pure short investment, sorry. So at the end, you can start building your model. So the only thing that I have to change here, the problem is that the company doesn't provide a clear guidance here. So you really have to guess the fact that to translate their, let's say their guidance in terms of patients into numbers. So basically that's what you can see here on this table. They grow from 4,400 at Q1 2022 into 6,000 patients in Q4 2022. Okay. So how does it translate into money? Basically, I just consider that the average treatment price for Tyvaso is $39,000 or maybe a little bit more, and it will translate into a little bit more Tyvaso revenues. And at the end, I just consider the same gross margin, 92. I just remove the OPEX, I remove the tax, I consider the shares, and I take this net income after tax divided by the shares, give you $18. Also, they have a lot of cash, and this cash can be also translated into a number of dollars per share. If you add that plus 17 multiplied by the PE, you get a target price, which here is around like 263 if you have a P of 10 and 353 for a P of 15. So it's quite a wide range, but I always remain, let's say, conservative, considering always a low PE ratio, PE of 10. Okay. So that's it. Considering that now I have different price target, I can put it on the technical chart, and especially showing that this window target has to be, let's say, for the year end of, let's say, communication, which is around March 2023. So based on this, you can see that there's a real nice technical chart. Here we're at the bottom of this channel, and the target is remains sorry in between this channel. So it does make sense, especially here when you're at the lowest range of the technical chart, to maybe start potentially investing a little bit more safely than if it was on top of the channel. Okay. So basically, okay, just a last point in terms of ownership. Yeah, Martin Rosblatt owns 1.5% of the total share count, which is equal to $150 million. She's been selling sometimes $1 million of shares, but it's really minimal compared to her total ownership. So that's quite good to see. And basically, general public, there's not so much available, 35%. The rest is a lot of different groups, hedge funds or whatever, that contribute to the stability of the share price. So that's quite interesting. Now, in terms of conclusion, I just want to share like most of the point that we've been covering here. The first one is that the company is profitable, has a clean balance sheet, and a possibly good operating leverage if they start leveraging the new phase 3 products, because the R&D and the SG&A have been already, let's say, done, especially R&D. They have a great yield today at $216 per share. The yield is 14%, which gives you a P around 7, sorry. So I hardly doubt that the company can go lower, and especially at this type of environment, macro environment, you really want a company that doesn't have like a low floor price, let's say low floor. So basically, you get me. Obviously, now they want to extend their total addressable market, and as you can see, it's not just plus 20%, it's like multiplied by 2 or 3 with the existing Tyvaso product line. They've clearly mentioned their goals, so it's also showing that the CEO has a clear vision, clear target. That's what we want. They're already planning also for long term, let's say the next step. So basically, when you have a good product, what you want to do is also reinvest into the new product, another one, which actually is all about transplantation, organ transplantation. As you know, demography is actually very bad in every country these years, and I think that this organs transplantation would be a great way to extend your lifetime and basically compensate the issue with demography. On top of that, they are also working with these 3D printing lung scaffolds, and this is another, let's say, a new avenue that they are exploring. So I hope it's going to be good. CEO obviously owns some shares, so there's like a bit of skin in the game. Obviously, she's been the CEO since day one, so it's good bringing stability to the system, and of course, continuation in terms of vision. If you change CEO every 2 or 3 years, obviously you're not gonna continue. It's like the president, only 5 years, and then after they leave with a pack of money. Okay, CEO Martin Rosbat also has a proven record of success in many fields of expertise. So she's been doing like in aviation, in radio, in lots of things. So she has no issue in terms of providing new products, and she's been already going through this type of different stages of an invention of creation. So it's really a big asset for the company. In total, there's like 7 phase 3 products, so which is just amazing. How many company can claim having so many phase 3? Obviously, it's always in the same field, so I know it's not like completely different products, but still. The only cons that I see was like a lot of insiders selling recently. Not the CEO, but like I know this Paul Mahon, for example. I think he's like one of the directors, sells always like his shares. So I don't know if like they are willing to they stay long, but they still sell some shares. I don't know. So if it's just to put some cash on the side. But anyway, this is something we can have a look. Well, at least it's not a red flag, but still something you need to monitor. At least if the CEO starts selling a lot, then there might be some other problems, but I don't see that at the moment. And also, of course, lots of moonshots. So the way to success, okay, even though you have a lot of phase 3 for the next stage of products, which is the xeno organs and the 3D scaffold lungs, is still some way to go. So obviously, this stock is not for people who want really to have like a quick buck. It's more like for a long term, which actually I'm very interested in too. So that's all that's all I have at the moment for this company. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry if the video is not working on my webcam, but anyway, you have the voice, and this is the most important. I hope you have a good time, and then that this video just gives you a little bit of let's say interest into this company. I think it's really worth digging into, and this is a different profile. I really like the stability of the CEO, the vision, and by the fact that okay, it can benefit everybody. So tell me what you think in the comments, and give me a like or follow up if you want to see the next steps, next quarter's results, which I will be analyzing in other videos. Okay, have a good day, and bye bye. Ciao, ciao.